This program contains adult language and situations which may be considered offensive to some viewers and/or children, but more likely their parents.
Alright, people. There's something I gotta talk about here. And that is, I've been trying to get a job now for about, I don't know, since November. Since a little bit before Thanksgiving. And pretty much every day I've been going online and trying to look for jobs. And honestly, I must have put in 200 fucking applications and probably 200 resumes. And how many jobs have I gotten? How many job interviews have called me back? Let's see. In those, I'm gonna have to say it was like 200 job interview or 200 job applications / resumes that I put in. Okay, I can't even keep track of all of them anymore. And how many job interviews have called me back? Let's see. 2. I've went on 2 job interviews since November, and I've been putting in. It's kind of hard. Listen, it's kind of hard to just be keeping people. Oh, you should be. People keep telling me you should be putting in at least 10 applications a day, 10 resumes. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, I can't. It's impossible. It is impossible to do that. And I'll tell you what, because there's not enough jobs. There's not enough places to fucking apply to. Well, maybe you should go pound pavement. Okay, that would have worked back in the fucking 60s. Okay, Dad? That would have worked back in the fucking 60s. But you know what? Employers don't want to see that. You go into any store these days. I said, "Are you hiring? Can I get an application?" You know what they'll say? You gotta do that shit online. That's what they're doing these days. Everything is online. So you kind of have... So pounding pavement to get a job isn't going to work these days. It's easier just to stay home and fill out applications. Okay? So, I'm putting like how many... I've been putting in... It's hard to do. It's hard to put in all kinds of resumes and job applications because there's just so many. There's just so many jobs that you can't do it. You can't do it. Okay. There's not enough jobs to be putting in 10 applications a week or whatever. You can't do it. Because there's simply not enough jobs. I've been seeing the same jobs posted for months now. For years now. The same exact jobs. And you know what? The same thing with apartments too. I keep seeing the same goddamn apartments day in and day out. Ever since, I've been seeing the same goddamn apartments listed since I've been trying to move back in fucking, when I was trying to move out of fucking South Buffalo. There was not enough apartments. That's all I see is the same, 10 apartments. Same 10 jobs and whatnot. You know what? Surely I'd be qualified to get one of those jobs, right? No. I'm really convinced, okay? I'm seriously convinced that these jobs, you could say what you want. You can say what you want, Richard Viola, which, by the way, you're this close. you're abusing your Richard privilege this much. Okay, I'm ready to convert back to just calling you the name that you don't like, because you're abusing your Richard privilege. He was going around saying shit like, "Well, I'm telling you why you're not getting, they're not hiring you because they'll think that you're gonna badmouth them on a video." No, listen to me, people. This isn't about me badmouth. There's only like 3 jobs that I've had where I had to badmouth them on tape. Okay? Because they were that terrible. And I feel like people need to know. There's like 3 jobs. Okay? And what is this shit you're saying? Oh, well, I know all the hiring man. Bullshit! Bullshit! They don't even know your fucking name. Okay? I remember the one time you posted, "Oh, I've been working at this job for a year and nobody knows my name." Okay. But here's the thing now. All that aside, I really do believe that me not getting interviews and whatnot, it's because of Lovejoy. It's because, especially if a black is doing the hiring, oh my god. They take one look at your fucking address and it says, it doesn't even have to say Lovejoy. It can just show that fucking zip code, that 14206 zip code, which just so happens to be the Lovejoy zip code. They take one look at that and say, yeah, we don't want him here. Might as well just have a big rubber stamp right down on your resume that says nigger across it. Employers don't want to hire someone and then have them yell the N-word to the blacks in the fucking place. Employers don't want their fucking building burnt down because you had to go outside and light a cigarette with a blowtorch. Okay? Yeah, we're sorry. We're not calling you back because we don't want our building burnt down with a blowtorch because you had to light a cigarette with a blowtorch. Yeah, sorry. We don't want a race war in our fucking building. Sorry, we'd rather hire someone from a nice neighborhood like Elmwood Strip. And then one thing about it, don't think about it. If it was me versus another candidate for a job, and we both had the same qualifications, this guy lives on the Elmwood Strip, and I live in Lovejoy. Same qualifications, same everything. Elmwood Strip, and I'm Lovejoy. Who do you think would get the job? The guy on the Elmwood Strip would get the job because he lives in a non-racist neighborhood. But and that's like the trap that they get you in. That's the trap that they get you in. First of all, I can't even move to another area of Buffalo because landlords in other parts of the city, they like to do this shit where, oh, yeah, you're gonna have to, where do you work? And I just say, I don't work right now. We don't want you in our building. You don't work. So how the fuck am I supposed to get a job while living in Lovejoy when they don't hire people from Lovejoy? I'm telling you, it's really hard to get jobs while you're in Lovejoy. I can't even get a job at fucking 7-Eleven. Why? Because I don't think that they hire people in Lovejoy to work at that place. They hire outside of Lovejoy. Same with Carbone's and all those other pizza places. You really think those guys work at fucking Carbone's and live in fucking Lovejoy? I don't think so. That's why nobody in fucking Lovejoy works. Nobody. Nobody fucking works there. Nobody works around Lovejoy. And you know what? I don't blame them, because they don't hire. You can't really fault somebody for not working if no one's fucking hiring them. Now, the Richard Viola's over there like, well, they're not giving you, they're not hiring you because you're unreliable and I'm lazy and what else? I'll badmouth the company when I leave on a video. And first of all, I'm not unreliable. Okay, I get out to work, I do my job, and that's about it. Lazy? I'm not lazy. I'm really not. I'm doing application after application, resume after resume, and I'm just simply not getting a call back. You can't just. It's not like there's like unlimited jobs out there where you can just like every single day you go on there and there's like brand new fucking jobs out of thin air. No, there isn't. I go on these websites for jobs and it's just like same shit over and over and over and over and over again. And it's just like I can't take it anymore. There's like all the jobs that I'm looking for, I've already applied to them. So it's impossible for me to, put in a set amount every single day when there's not even a set amount, when you can't even find jobs to, you can't even find 10 jobs to apply to. And no, I am not. I absolutely refuse to do another cleaning job. Yeah, I know I could probably get hired within a week. applying for a cleaning job. But I will not do another cleaning job ever in my life. I'm serious, I won't. If that's the case, I'd rather just not work. I'd be better off not working if I had to do another cleaning job. Okay, I'd rather fucking not work than do another cleaning job. No, it's not about the money. It's about my dignity. Okay, let me get to that. So I was accused of doing videos and then, badmouth the company when something goes wrong. Yeah, I will do that because people need to know what's going on. I'm just trying to keep it real here, okay? So what does that even mean? Don't fuck with me. Okay? Then we don't have anything to worry about, now do we? And there's only like 3 jobs that like I had to really, badmouth on a video because of their antics. And I'm going to talk about those jobs. Number 1, the fucking casino. The fucking casino. Now, we all know I was fired from the casino because I wasn't an Indian. That's why I was fired. Okay? Now, I know you people think, well, it was because of brandy. And you're partially right about that. But think of this. Think of this for a second, okay? It might be because of brandy, but think about it this. If an Indian did the exact same thing that I did, okay, to get me fired, do you really think they'll fire the Indian? I don't think so. In fact, I'm going to sit there and say this. I think that if an Indian did exactly what I did, I think that they would actually honor the Indian. For example, if an Indian said that Brandy couldn't be at the casino, they would actually honor that, and then Brandy wouldn't be at the casino. But because I'm the white boy in the casino, it's just, can't do that. So there you go. There's some racism right there. Now the second job I will go after is P.S. Elliott Services. And that job actually did worse than the casino, to be honest. Especially so what happened was, okay, so I was working for it's a cleaning service. P.S. Elliott Services. And it's just like, it's places contract out. They hire P.S. Elliott Services to clean their places. So I was working cleaning the Arubis factory. Oh, excuse me. I was cleaning the Arubis factory, which is it's formerly American Brass, which is on Military Road. and I was cleaning that, and it wasn't that bad over there. I mean, to be honest, I really didn't like working in the factory. I really didn't like it, and but it was something I stood by, and I kind of was like looking at other jobs and whatnot, and that was about it. They actually let me go for about 2 weeks, just because I don't know, there wasn't enough work or something. So whatever, I don't care about that. Then they called me up like 2 weeks later. Hey Mike, would you be willing to work at the Sorrento Lactalis place? It's pretty much right down the street from where you live. It was in South Buffalo. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I worked there for about a month or two. And I was working with this older black woman. Just me and her working. And whatever, she didn't seem like she was that bad. But then all of a sudden she comes up to me and says, Mike, got a complaint about you. Something about $6 was missing off a desk. And they think it's you. We're gonna review the tapes or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I was like, I didn't steal it, whatever. So then about a week later, I didn't even remember it, to be honest. And she comes up to me again. She's like, yeah, I'm going to have to fire you. That we saw the tapes. And it looked like you did steal that $6. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So she shows me a printout of me walking into the building where the $6 was. It was me walking into the building, right? It was me walking in the building that I always walk in before. I have to walk into that building every single fucking night. I have to walk into that building to clean it. That was like my job. So you got a picture of me doing my job. Okay. So yeah, you got a picture of me doing my job. Okay, that I don't know why you're firing me over this, but you got a picture of me doing my job. So then so I'm just like, whatever. I even went up to the fucking security guy and I said, I'm being fired because they're saying I stole money from a desk. And the security guy was just like, I didn't hear about this. So then I started bitching to the big boss, and the big boss was just like, yeah, he's like kind of an asshole, yeah. They just don't want you around or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like, you're not really fired from P.S. Eliot. They just don't want you working there or something. It'll all blow over. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. And then they actually tried to cover it up. They actually tried to cover it up because I think I was like trying to get like what do you call it, unemployment from being fired, and they said, oh no, you can't get unemployment. And they said they actually had the reason why they fired me from P.S. Eliot. and the reason they didn't even the reason was different than what they told me. They actually told me from unemployment that it wasn't because of the money. It was because I was taking what they say. I was taking too many bathroom breaks. I'm like, really? That's why they fired me, because they said I was taking too many bathroom breaks. And I said, yeah, that's what it says on here. And it was really weird, because yeah, I do take bathroom breaks. And I thought it was kind of weird, because here's the thing, here's what happens. Okay? And I think I actually have a case for this. However, I found out about this way after. I think I have a case about this if I knew about this earlier. I have diabetes, okay? And if anyone knows about diabetes, sometimes it makes you drink a lot of water. I always drink water. Plus, I don't drink pop anymore. Everything I drink is water. Okay, everything is just water. You know, everything. So, okay. So then, what are you going to do? I drink a lot of water, and I pee a lot, because I'm drinking a lot of water. Because diabetes makes me thirsty a lot, you know. And I don't know what you'd say. I think it's more the diabetes gives me like a. It kind of gives. I don't know if you call it thirsty, but I definitely. There's a how do I say this? There's always like a bad taste in my mouth, it seems like. Or there's sometimes like my mouth is like dry or something. And yes, it does happen a lot when I eat something sugary or something. But I don't know. I don't know if it's actual thirst or whatnot, but I do enjoy drinking water. Okay, like I actually enjoy it, you know? And I don't drink really anything else besides water and maybe some tea. But I don't drink pop either anymore, so yeah. And they're saying I'm not allowed to take bathroom breaks because why again? I don't know. They said because the work isn't getting done. Meanwhile, though, the work is getting done. The work is 100% getting done. And it's always been done, and it's always been done on time. And there was never any time where we had to stay after and do extra work or have to, you know, because I was too slow. We'd always get the work done. We'd always get home on time. And I don't get it. And so they're like flip-flopping here. You know what I'm saying? They're like flip-flopping here. With you know what they're trying to say. P.S. Elliott Services, they're flip-flopping. They're saying they're telling me one thing, and I'm getting another, you know. So I really don't know what's going on anymore with that. It's unfortunate, and I think they need to be called out on it. So that's why. I honestly believe it was more about I kind of believe I don't want us to really say it, but I think it was because the woman that I was working with didn't really like me. She was like an older black woman, and I'm not gonna say if she's racist or not, or like I never got that out of her. Actually, I did. I did get some kind of hint of racism out of her once when I first started there. It was like the first day I met her and everything. We were polite, and she's like, and she said something really weird to me. She's like, "Listen, you respect me, I respect you," and it came really out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, and I never really thought about it. Like she was almost like, don't call me the N word, and I won't call you a fucking the H word or the C word. We know what those words are, honky and cracker. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like that. So, it was almost like she was expecting me to hate her, but I really didn't. And I don't know, maybe it just got to her, really. But whatever. It's just something that I had to, I have to talk about it because I have to let people know about it. The other place was at ABM place, which was what do you call it? That was where I was going out to Tonawanda, and I was working at that Praxair place, and oh my god, that place was kind of terrible, to be honest. It was just, how do I say it? They treated us like they treated us like fucking prison, like we're prisoners there, And it was just like you got this one guy that came in the one time, and he was just he was nasty. He was fucking nasty as hell. He comes in, and there was like a little spot on the fucking floor. Oh no, you know what it was? What happened was, I had my own area to do, right? I had my own little area to do. And I did that area. And what happened the one day was, I came in, and I was doing my area and whatnot, and I usually leave the bathrooms for last. I usually wait till everyone's gone from the building, okay? Then I do the bathrooms. That way I'm not, there's nothing, whatever. There's nothing that I can, it's clean when I leave. So, okay, so I do everything else, and then I do the bathrooms. Well, I'm doing everything, right? And it was two other people that work for ABM. They come in, and it was a man and a woman, a young people. They come in, and this, once in a while, because I know they do this too. Once in a while, they'll come in and they'll shut down the bathrooms, and then they'll do this like deep clean shit, and it's like they do it like maybe once or twice every like few months or something, and they do like this deep clean shit, where it's pretty much what they do is they go in there with this big fucking machine, and they pretty much just like spray the whole fucking They spray the walls, the ceiling, like the whole floor with it. And then they kind of just like suck it up with a big vacuum. And I said, okay, so you're gonna do this today, cool. Does that mean that means I don't have to do I don't have to do the bathrooms today, right? I said, no, you don't have to do the bathrooms today because we're taking care of it. And I was like, okay, cool. So they get done with it. They get done with that, and one of the supervisors come in, and after they were done and cleared out and everything, at one of the supervisors, big supervisor comes in, and I was doing my shit, and goes into the bathroom, he says, that bathroom's a fucking mess. And he comes up to me, says, that bathroom's a fucking mess. And he was like being all fucking like nasty, just flat out nasty, like he wanted a fucking fight. This is literally how he acted. He comes right up to me and says, that fucking bathroom's nasty. You need to go in there and fucking clean that bathroom. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm like, excuse me, but there was another team. There's two other people that just came in here and they deep cleaned that fucking bathroom. Well, it doesn't look deep clean, and you need to get in there and get the fucking bathroom done. And he was like so nasty about it. I was like, listen, don't get mad at me about it. There's two other people, and you're fucking lying. You're fucking lying. There was not supposed to be any other people in that bathroom cleaning it besides you. And I said, listen. I described what they looked like, and he's like, you better not be fucking with me. I was like, holy shit, dude, you need to fucking calm down. So, as it turns out, I was right. And I said, he comes back in, and he's like, okay, I talked to those people, but you need to go in there and clean that bathroom the right way. I was like, oh, okay, fine. And so I did it. And then I think it was like the next day, the same guy comes in and starts bitching at me because the supply cabinet wasn't neat. Because somebody from Praxair bitched that they found the supply cabinet a mess. There was like we had our own like supply cabinet where we keep the paper towels and toilet paper and all that other shit. And I'm just like, he's like, you need to take the day here and fucking reorganize that fucking supply cabinet. I was like, okay. So I did that, and it took me like almost half my shift to do it too, because it was a mess. And then I'm over to do it. I over to try to do all of my other shit, and he comes in again. He's like, "Why isn't all this done?" Because you told me that I had to. You told me that I have to do this supply cabinet. Oh, yeah, I needed you to do the supply, but I want you to do the other work too. Excuse me? I'm only here for like what, 4 hours? And the whole thing with the cleaning jobs is that they treat you like, and this is not the first job that this has happened, but they treat you like assholes there during these clean. It's not the first cleaning job either for this to happen, but they had the added bonus of also the one night they just said, oh, we're fired. I was fired on my way home from work because they said I was wearing shorts at work. I was violating a dress code. Which isn't even true, by the way. It's partially true, but No, it's not. So, okay. So, because I was going all the way out to fucking Tonawanda from Lovejoy, okay? I was going all the way out to Tonawanda from Lovejoy. It would take me like 3 hours to get out there on a bus, and then like 3 hours back, okay? And a lot of times what'll happen too is most of the time I would have to leave like early in the morning to, do errands and whatnot. So I'm not going to just go out and do errands and then come all the way back here and then go all the way back out again. No. I try to plan all my errands around, I try to do it so that, everything lines up. Okay, so that's what I did. So it was during the summertime, and I found that if I just wore pants all day, I'd get all fucking hot and fucking sweaty and shit. And it's just like, I can't be walking around in fucking pants in the middle of a heat wave and all this. So what I did was I ended up, and also too, the whole thing with Brandy's brother being on the bus, I didn't want him to see my shirt. So what I would do is I would wear like just a regular fucking t-shirt and shorts. I would wear them to work, and then I'd get into like a bathroom. I'd go there. I was usually there like a couple minutes early, so I'd get into the bathroom and I'd change I'd change into my pants, and I'd put on my shirt. Okay, and after work, before I leave, I change out of it, and then I leave. But never have I been on the clock and wore like all kinds of wore my fucking shorts and whatnot. So they're saying that I wore shorts while I was working, which wasn't really true. And then I had to call them out for as well. They treat their staff like assholes. Their fucking supervisors are like prison guards. Okay, and it's just very stressful working there. Okay, and I feel like I have to talk about it because I don't feel like I feel like they need to be, what do you call it? They need to be called out on it, pretty much. That's just the way I feel about that situation. It's like I don't want to have to, I don't want to have to I don't want people to have to go through what I've gone through. So that's why I talk about it. But it's not like I just start bad-mouthing every single little job that I've had. There's been times where I've gotten fired from jobs that I don't even really bad-mouth them. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. There's been times where I've been laid off or whatever. Let's see, diversified maintenance, where I had to work at the Goodyear plant in Niagara Falls. Yeah, I didn't like that job either. But you know what? I didn't badmouth them. The job itself, they didn't. It was, to me, it was a personal thing that I quit because it was just very, not stressful, but it was just I really couldn't handle the job. To be honest, it was just too ugh, this is too like strenuous on me. Like, not that I had to like lift heavy shit, but it just wasn't for me. And I'm not gonna badmouth them over it. I'm not doing that. You're not getting that out of me. I'm just saying it wasn't for me at Diversified Maintenance where I worked at the Goodyear plant in Niagara Falls. That wasn't, a big friggin' deal. And it was pretty much just a mutual, like I just said, listen, I don't know if I can handle this. I'm going to be straight up, I don't know if I can handle this. And that was about it. But no, don't be sitting there saying that I'm sitting there and every job that I've had I badmouth them or whatever. Because it only happened with like a couple jobs and they actually needed to be told off pretty much. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie and say that that what happened at the casino happened because whatever. I'm going to sit there, I'm going to tell the truth about it. I was fired. I was pretty much fired for not being Indian. And is that right? Is that right? Is that right that I was fired for not being an Indian? It's just that kind of shit. Ow. There's something in my nose that's like bothering me. I get that sometimes. Oh shit. But hi Gravy. I'm not gonna I'm one of those guys that's not gonna tell it the way it is. I'm telling it the way it is, And alright. But it's just so hard for me to get a job. And a job that I actually enjoy, on top of that. Because it's like, after the ABM debacle over there, it's almost like I don't even want another cleaning job ever in my life because of that, because of what I had to go through, with these supervisors just being nasty like all the time. And like I said, ABM wasn't the first. I mean, I've had other jobs where cleaning jobs where they were nasty to us, and it was. I'm not gonna say where, but I ended up running into one of my old supervisors that was very nasty to me when he worked there, and he actually came up to me and said, listen, Mike, I'm not really like that in real life. He said, but I was told that I had to be nasty with the crew to keep them in line. Don't think that. He was like, don't think that you're just being picked on or whatever, because you really weren't. It was just, that's the way they told me that I had to do that. He's like, they told us that we had to be, nasty with you guys. And he actually said that that's one of the reasons why he quit that job. And I was like, okay. So I don't know. I just wish. Hold on. I just wish that. Oh my God. Hold on. I just want a fucking job. That's all I really want. And it's not like I'm not being lazy. I just want a job, really. And fuck. There's like something in my nose that keeps bothering me. I just want a job, really. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. I do just want a fucking job. But then again, I don't want the bullshit that goes with it. Like, I'm trying to get away from the cleaning jobs because it just seems like the cleaning jobs are just very stressful to me. Like I said, with the fucking... They treat you like fucking idiots there. I'm trying to get more into like data entry or maybe, like an office thing. I don't really, to be honest, I really don't care about the money so much. If I'm getting paid something, I'm fine with that. I'm not looking for, I'm not looking to get like upper management shit. I'm happy with like an entry level shit. And it's just so hard. It's so difficult. I go into these interviews sometimes and they ask me like, it's just really stupid fucking questions, really. Like, why did you apply to us? And it's just like, I can't answer that. I don't know how to answer that question. Why the fuck did you apply to us over every other employer? Why did I apply to you guys? Shit. I did apply to every other employer. Probably. You're the one that called me up. So I'm here. What the fuck? That's what they always ask me. Why do you want to apply? Why do you want to work for us over any other employer? And it's a really weird question when you think about it. It's like, why else would I want to work? Because I want fucking money. Well, you can't actually say that. You can't actually say something like that. So, I don't know what my response. I just say, well, I've heard. You don't want to tell them too much. Like, you don't want to say something like, I've heard good things about the company. Then they'll try going into this shit. Well, what did you hear about the company? And they just try to back you into a corner that way. A lot of times what'll happen, like, I don't, like a lot of times, I don't like dealing with, like, police officers or whatnot because of that. Because they like to ask you questions, and then they try to, like, back you into a corner. You know? And, like especially the border agents, like the Canadian border people. What was it, the one time... What was it, the one time I tried to go over the border? This was before I got arrested, right? And they said, oh, what are you coming to Canada for? I'm going to casino. What casino? Seneca, not Seneca, Fallsview. Why are you going to that casino? Because I like it there. Why do you like it? It just keep going on and on and on. How much money do you have on you? I don't know, about $100. Is that going to be enough for a casino? It's kind of expensive. What do you play there? How much a hand do you... The whole fucking... They just keep backing you into a corner, and I don't like that shit. Like fucking police do that too. It was like the one time I actually went to was it maybe a couple months ago. I tried to go to jail. I tried to go to jail. No, seriously, I went to the Erie County Holding Center to go visit a guy that I knew in there. And I had to answer all these fucking questions to the fucking guy. I was like, who are you here to see? Oh, I'm here. Yeah. Does he know you're coming? And I'm like, no. So like, why does he know you're coming? And I'm like, I didn't tell him. And he's like, how do you know? The whole fucking thing. Like, I seriously don't like being backed up in a corner like that. I kind of get it with the jail though. The jail though, it's just... I think a lot of what they do, like at the borders and shit, I think a lot of what they do is they don't really care what, you know... I don't really think they actually care what casino you go to. I think they're just asking to see how you fold under questioning, you know. They're just trying to fucking, I don't know. They're just ridiculous. They kind of are, to be honest. Like what I just want is, oh, what are you going to Canada for? Going to casino. Oh, okay. Enjoy yourself. Why is that? Why do I have to get the whole fucking the fucking 21 question shit going on? I hate that shit. So I feel like in a job interview, it's just every little thing that they're asking, it's just it just seems like they're just fucking putting me in a corner, really. It was a little bit like that when Dick Griffin was here too, that one day. Dick Griffin. It was kind of like that, like, how do you know this woman? I knew her from Thursday in the Square. How long ago have you known? I'm just like, well, does it matter? She wants me arrested. Just fucking arrest me, you know? I know what this is about. I already know what this is about. Just fucking arrest me. Just you don't have to like sit there and go through 21 questions. I don't want to fucking go through the 21 question bullshit. If you're gonna arrest me, just arrest me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna. It's like you have to tell your, especially with the border people. Those guys are pretty ruthless with the questions. Like you have to like tell them your whole life story and everything. It's just I don't want to fucking tell them my life story. I don't want to go, well, you know, at birth, you know, I grew up this here. It's just, you're like, come on. I mean, I guess it all depends on which border agent you get. I mean, I guess some of them could be pretty cool, but I mean, you still don't want to do the fucking 21 question shit with them. I really don't. Nowadays, I don't even really go into like fucking like detail. Like when this shit with the restraining order expires, I'm gonna probably go back to Toronto or something. And you know what I'm gonna do when I get across the border, when I get across when I'm at the border, what are you here for? What are you going to Canada for? I'm going to Toronto. What are you going to Toronto for? I'm just gonna be a tourist. I was just telling them I don't really have any real plans of doing anything. I don't really have any real plans of doing anything. I'm just going. I'm going just whatever the fuck happens. I'm gonna, you know, go downtown, go to the downtown Toronto, and that's about it. I don't need to tell them my whole fucking itinerary. They don't fucking need to know. And you know what? I'm not gonna tell them I was arrested because they don't really need to know. I like nowadays when I go to Toronto or to go like to Canada, I should say. Nowadays here's what I do. Oh my god. Nowadays I don't even tell them like that I was arrested or anything. This is what I do. I'm like, okay, I'm going to Canada. I'm gonna go to a fucking casino. I don't even tell them that I've been arrested or this. If they bring it up, they bring it up. You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, and by the way, I got charges against me. I think you should know that. No, I don't do that shit. If they bring it up, because they you know they can see that I've got charges as soon as they run my ID, they can see that. So it's like it's you don't have to tell them. You don't have to tell them shit. You don't have to tell them that you're this and all that, you know. All they really need to know is where you going and how long you're gonna be in the country. That's it. That's it. That's all they need to know. And then you run your ID, and it comes up. Oh, you got charges. Okay, explain the charges. Hey, you know that's all behind me. But yeah. Oh, look at this. Richard Viola. He just made a fucking Facebook post. What's going on here? What the fuck's going on? Oh, there we go. He just wrote a Facebook post that says, I'm 100% sure people aren't hiring you because of your shady work history, not because you live in a racist zip code, whatever that means. What the fuck do you mean, whatever that means? A racist zip code. You know, I swear that this Richard Viola guy is so fucking stupid. I swear, it's like everything I say goes in one ear and out the other with him. What the fuck do you mean? How do you not know what that meant? I literally sat there and explained in detail what I meant by a racist zip code. 14206 is a racist zip code. I don't know why he's confused about that. If they see that zip code come up on their resumes, they will not hire me because they don't want me coming in there and using the N-word in the fucking workplace. You know, it's I don't know how many times I have to explain this to them. They don't hire people from Lovejoy. Lovejoy is a piece of shit neighborhood. See, here's the thing. I'd rather live in the fucking fruit belt, to be honest. You know why? Because the fruit belt, you know. I remember Eugene once saying, well, Lovejoy's the second, number 2 worst area of Buffalo. And I was like, okay, what's the first? He said the fruit belt. And I'm just thinking, I mean, I'd rather live in the fucking fruit belt, to be honest. And here's why. Because even though there might be more crime in the fruit belt, at least in the fruit belt has culture, okay? The fruit belt has fucking culture. And if I were to go up to somebody and say, yeah, I live in the fruit belt, okay, people will be like, wow, you aren't racist. Like, the Fruit Belt isn't known for racism. Okay, the Fruit Belt is like a black neighborhood. It's predominantly a black neighborhood, but a person like me, I'm black, but I can pass as a white man, and I can tell people I'm white, but really I'm black. But here's the thing: if I go up to somebody and say, "Hey, I live in the Fruit Belt," people will be like, "Dude, that's cool, because that means you're not racist. That means you want to live around black people." If I were to go, if I were to go and say, "Oh, I live in fucking Lovejoy," they'll be like, "You're fucking racist. The only reason somebody actually wants to live in Lovejoy is because they want to be around racism. That's the only reason." And I've proven it time and time and time and time again about this. Okay? Like, I can go anywhere in Lovejoy where there's people that gather. I can go to a laundromat, and I could bring my phone, and I could turn on my phone. I could turn on the camera, and I can almost guarantee you that I can turn on that camera, and I can capture people talking fucking racist. I could just I could just turn on the fucking camera, okay, and just leave it going, like somewhere, and I can guarantee you that just me filming in random ass places in Lovejoy, I can actually guarantee you that I can pick up racism. Like, just, I could go anywhere and I could just turn it on randomly, and there you go. There's some kind of racism in the fucking picture. You know what I'm saying here? And it's like it's like, okay, so I did a couple videos where I went to what the fuck you call it? I went to I went to the food pantry, and I did a couple videos there where, I'd be sitting outside, and there'd just be people just talk. Like, I'll be honest, I turned it on. I turned it on as soon as I got there. They weren't even like and the title of the video was called Lovejoy Racists or something, and I didn't even turn it on. I didn't even turn it on when they were talking racist. I just got there and then I turned it on. They weren't even talking racist. Then it was like, because I knew that if I were to film them right now, I can guarantee you that I can find some kind of racism that they were talking. I knew that eventually the conversation was going to go from, oh, the bakery across the street isn't there anymore, to, yeah, my car got hit by a black person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Or I know that if I go, there was actually a barber, okay, and it wasn't really Lovejoy. I forget where it was. There was a barber my dad used to take me to. I believe he was on like Clinton Street in Buffalo. It was kind of like, I don't know if it was Kaisertown. I don't think it was Kaisertown, Buffalo, but it was more like, let me try to think here. It was more like Clinton and Fillmore, I believe it was. It was around that area, And it was like this old barber. And he used to take me there because my dad, he could get a haircut for. That's what he always said. He could give you a haircut for $4. And that's why he would take me, because it's cheap. But the thing is that you go there, and it was just the old man and the old clients that would get their haircut. That's all they would talk about. Oh, the niggers are taking over the city. Every time you go in there, talking like he's from the fucking Klan. It's like, dude, can you talk about something else here? Like, really, talk about the fucking baseball game. Talk about a football game. But no, it's every time you go in there, he's always talking about the niggers this and the niggers that. It's like, what? You can't talk about fucking sports. Talk about a fucking football or baseball, hockey, whatever the fuck. It's like these people, and I guess you could call it still kind of on the borderline Lovejoy. But you know, you go into a laundromat sometimes, and sometimes you get some of these old fucks in there, and they're just going nuts with the racism. They're just like, we need to get the niggers out. It's just, well, why the fuck? Why are these people so obsessed with black people so much? You can't sit there and go a fucking inch in Lovejoy and not hear something racist. And it's like, I get it that you're gonna talk to your fucking clients while you cut their hair. That's fine. But like, it's like every time you go in there, you could go in there maybe like once every 3 months, and it's the same fucking conversation about how the blacks here and the niggers and it's just, come on, man, you gotta be shitting me with this. You gotta be fucking shitting me. You can't just go in. You can't just go into the barber shop and, you know, you can't just go in the fucking barber shop and get your hair cut and not hear that kind of shit, you know? He's always talking racist. And it's just like, why? I don't get it. Why can't this guy talk about anything else? That's what I always wanted to know. Why is this guy always talking like he's the fucking head of the Ku Klux Klan? You know, why? You mean to tell me that you can't talk about anything else while you're cutting hair? You mean there's no fucking football game to talk about? There's no fucking baseball game? Oh, who won the baseball game? Can't talk about some new movie that came out? Really? It's like, why does your fucking the conversation always go, oh, those niggers, this. I don't fucking get it. It makes no sense. And you know what? Oh, no. You know what? This is the kind of shit that I hate about Lovejoy. This is the kind of shit that makes me embarrassed to live here. You know, this is the kind of shit, you know. This is the kind of shit that's embarrassing about this neighborhood. You know? Like it is so embarrassing. You know, it is so embarrassing to tell people that I live in Lovejoy for this reason. Because I don't like telling people I'm from Lovejoy, because then people start to judge and everything else. People start to judge, and when they judge, then I just don't want to fucking have to explain. Oh, I live in Lovejoy. Oh, you mean that racist neighborhood? No, I mean Lovejoy. You know, Lovejoy. Yeah, Lovejoy's. You have to explain why you're from Lovejoy. Why are you from Lovejoy? And it's really fucking weird too, cause my mom. Listen, I always say this, and I always say it a lot, and like, I think it really like. I think it like fucked up a lot of my thinking when she said, "Oh, why do you want to live? Why do you ever want to move out of Love or South Buffalo? Why would you ever want to move out of here?" I think that like really bothered me, and I think it really, I think like this is something that I need like therapy for. Because I obviously can't let it go. It bothers me like that much, like to the point that like I'm never gonna stop thinking about what my mom said in that regard. Where my mom was like, "Oh," I was like, "You know, I'm just gonna move again in a year." And she's like, "Why would you ever want to move out of this neighborhood?" And it's something that I believe like scarred me mentally. Just her saying that like really bothered me. You know? It's something that I can't really let go. Just those words. Why would you ever want to move out of here, though? And I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I do know why it bothered me that much. Because I'll tell you why. Because I never really wanted to move to South Buffalo to begin with. I wanted to stay in North Buffalo, but because I didn't have a choice in the matter, really, I moved to South Buffalo. Okay, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna do the year here. You know, fulfill the lease here. Then I'm moving back. Now, let's reverse the roles, shall we? Now, imagine what would happen. Imagine what would happen if I was always like, I hate North Buffalo. I wish North Buffalo was nuked. And I'm like, Lovejoy's the best neighborhood ever. And could you imagine what would happen if that was my attitude, and then like I had to move to North Buffalo, and I said, you know, I'm just gonna move in a year. Do you really think my mom would like say what she said? Do you think my mom would really say, why would you ever want to move out of here? Do you really think my mom would say something like that? Do you really want to, why would you want to move out of here? Like if it was about North Buffalo. Why would my mom even like say, do you think my mom would even say, I said, you know, I hate fucking North Buffalo so much, I'd rather be in Lovejoy. And, you know, I'm going to do this year in North Buffalo, then I'm moving back to Lovejoy. Do you really think my mom would be like, okay. She would not question it at all. She would just be like, okay, yeah, well, we'll get you back in Lovejoy as soon as possible. But because it was South Buffalo, my mom was like, why would you ever want to move out of here? I don't think she would even say that if it was North Buffalo. Like if I said I hated North Buffalo, I don't think she would ever have to question it. She wouldn't say, why do you hate North Buffalo so much? She'd be just like, oh, yeah, okay, we could get you out of here then. No, but then if it's Lovejoy or anything east of Main Street, she doesn't want me moving to North Buffalo for that reason. And then that's the other thing I gotta address too. That I keep forgetting to address. One of the reasons my mom didn't like that I was living in North Buffalo is because it was around the time I first got arrested. It was when Clint Carr had me arrested in like 2013. He had me arrested, and somehow my mom thought that Clint Carr lived in North Buffalo, and she thought that because we lived in such a close proximity that I would get in trouble a lot. And here's the thing though. Clint Carr never actually lived in North Buffalo. As far as I know, he didn't live in North Buffalo. Clint Carr lived in Riverside. Okay, Riverside isn't North Buffalo. Riverside is it's like the west side. Like it's all the way up, it's like the west side. Okay, it's like, how the fuck do I say this? It's like what do you call it? It's like the northwest side. It's almost like the border, the border between Buffalo and town of Tonawanda. Okay, he lived over there. He lived in Riverside. And it's not really the same thing as North Buffalo as I wanted to live there, And he still doesn't really live in North Buffalo. He lives, after his funeral home or whatever got shut down, he lives in what they call. He lives in an area now what they call the Black Rock neighborhood. Don't ask why they call it that. It has nothing. I don't think it has anything to do with black people. It's just called the Black Rock neighborhood. I don't even know why they call it that, but it's Black Rock is like Grant. Like he lives like off of, nowadays Clint lives off of Amherst Street. Before it's like he lives between what do you call it, Elmwood and Grant. He lives on one of those streets that's like right before Grant Street on Amherst Street, off of Amherst Street. And that's not really North Buffalo, to be honest. That's more like, that's not even like the Elmwood Strip either. Like, I mean, even though it's like Elmwood per se, it's not really the Elmwood Strip. Like, the Elmwood Strip is pretty much from, it pretty much starts, like, I would say, like Elmwood and Allen to maybe Elmwood and Forest. That's like the Elmwood Strip. Okay, anything else, that's just Elmwood Avenue. That's just like after Forest Avenue over there. It's you got the college, and then past that, you don't really have much. You got like Elmwood and Hurdle, which again, there's not that much shit over there. And then you keep going, and then there's that fucking Tops Plaza. Oh shit. You got the Tops Plaza, you got the fucking, what is it, the Home Depot or whatever the fuck, or the Lowe's, I forget which one it is. But then, that's about it. And then you keep going farther down, and you got like Kenmore, like Elmwood in Kenmore, and again, there's not a lot going on over there. I'm trying to think about what's over there, to be honest. Yeah, I can't even think really. There's like a couple stores here and there, but for the most part, there's nothing much there. And then it gets like Elmwood and Sheridan, and then that's about it with Elmwood. So he doesn't even live in like the Elmwood Strip area. He lives in an area called Black Rock. And when I lived in North Buffalo, he didn't live in fucking North Buffalo. He lived in Riverside. Which would be kind of a long walk from North Buffalo to where I was. I mean, I've done it before. Like, I've actually walked home from a funeral home show, you know, from the funeral home when I lived on Delaware. But it was a long walk, and I'm not doing that shit anymore. Ow. It's pretty much just go straight down Ontario, cut over to fucking Tonawanda, then straight down Hurdle. Because it's like almost like at the end of fucking Hurdle anyway. He was living in like the neighborhood was called Riverside, which is that whole thing like Niagara, like all the way across the river there. It's like you go up and down the river. That's why it's called Riverside. But it's just so close to the river there. and then you keep following the river down south, and you get to Lake Erie. So that's that. I mean, that's where he lived. He lived in Riverside. So yeah. So it's like you can't say that. You know, you want me out of fucking North Buffalo because of Clint. Because Clint didn't live in North Buffalo. He lived in fucking Riverside. So yeah, that's that. So, and now he lives in fucking Black Rock, which is kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It's more like the Grant and it's more like the Grant Street area, like Grant and fucking Amherst. It's kind of like the west side, but it's, you know, it's getting, I don't know, it's kind of like the west side plus like Riverside. It's like in between there. So I don't know. But there's a lot of fucking stupid fucking apartments over there as well. I wouldn't live over there. Well, this is Dragon Lord Frodo, and I approve this message. Thanks in advance for watching this.